technology is not that ivory tower that if you don't have computer science degree, you still can be part, especially around, we're talking about platform economy, we're talking about creator economy, we're talking about so many new marketing, sales tools that's coming to play along, that you can be part of technology industry in whatever capacity you are talented. So how are you going to comment on the entry point, the entry barrier? Is it lower now than a few years ago, you think?
Yeah, I do. I think the barrier previously, you had to get that type of experience, you'd have to work for a technology company. You'd have to either go to university and learn that, or maybe do an internship to really build up your experience. But I think going back to the resources that are available now, and just the technology that's out there, and some of the free technologies that you can play around with if you wanted to get involved, and you've got free versions and free trials of things that you can get involved with. There's so much out there. There's such an opportunity for people to get involved early on and just build up their experience and show that interest. And if they're willing enough to learn and put their own time into it, the opportunities are endless, essentially.
That's music to my ear, because I do want to spell this out for the newcomers, those who just figuring out what their career path is going to be. So why don't we step into this very smart, very educated kind of area where data scientists, machine learning specialists are working? How do you comment on what's happening there now? How do you find the mood out there right now? Because opportunities are endless, and yet again, many companies are not hiring higher paid, higher kind of qualified specialists, because frankly, they don't know how long those initiatives gonna stay, if I can be a little bit skeptical.
Yes, yeah. And I think those, like you say, with machine learning and data science, it is more advanced. And I think for those roles, we have seen, certainly for the entry point, it has changed slightly. I think there is still a preference around, if someone has done a degree, not necessarily on computer science, because they could have done something on statistics or mathematics, for instance. So I think those companies are very much opening up to the sort of backgrounds that people have. If they don't have that background, again, they are open to people who have, put in time on perhaps courses around, things like Python or R, and they've done boot camps and things like that. There are organizations out there that do like training academies, and they put you on certain courses and then also help you find a job afterwards, or at least upskill you to get you to a stage where you've got sufficient entry-level skills to get there. So I think even those more advanced, and certainly data science and machine learning engineers, they're paid very well, and certainly the more experienced ones, careers in those types of roles are very sought after. But like you say, that entry point now has shifted slightly, and I think organizations are much more open. Whereas before, you would have had to done perhaps like a PhD in statistics or a PhD in computer science to even get a looking for a lot of these companies, that it would be a prerequisite before they even interview you. But now it has changed.
Absolutely. And I cannot not ask you, Harrison, about future work. What do you think about Metaverse now? Because we are stepping into that world, don't you think?
Yes. Yeah. It is a very hot topic at the moment. We actually co-hosted an event last week around the Metaverse and Web3 and NFTs as well. And this new wave of tech, I think in the business world, we're still yet to see its impact. But I think over the next 5 years, it will be the future of the way the world is working. Just like previously with the breaking point of RPA, when that term was first coined, many years ago, it was all quite new, and people at the time weren't really too sure about it. They thought, are these robots going to come in and take our jobs? I think there's a lot of skepticism around the metaverse at the moment. What real application does it have? How would that work? But we're starting to see a few things like that already now, like even with interviewing in the metaverse. I know some companies have started doing things like that, or team meetings for a lot of organizations that are doing things like that as well. So we're still yet to see a huge impact, but I definitely think that the market there is going to be huge, and I'm yet to understand exactly what sort of big business applications that has, but I'm sure that there will be, a few over the next few years. So it's one that we're definitely keeping an eye on as a business. And we're starting to have conversations with a lot of organizations we're working with about, their plans for it, what they see it being as part of their business, and basically how we can help facilitate that with, those experts that are involved in these technologies. And there aren't many people out there, but I know that more and more people we speak to are getting involved and are very interested in the topics.
Exactly. The fresh topic that came to my attention just lately, many startup incubators. For them, it becomes the norm when you have a residence program, you have apparently online presence, you definitely have the in-person events and
Yes.
metaverse and metaverse workspace. So you can choose, how you want to join these incubators. And for many businesses, of course, it's fashion retail, it's some other gaming, platforms and everything, right? They are more and more a metaverse, but like you said, more conservative industry kind of figuring out. And yet banking, I hear from a lot of experts, open banking is going to be there, like one of the first ones to try, and they seem to be liking what they're seeing there.
Yeah. We've seen that as well. I think that, financial services and banking are always, relative early adopters for a lot of these technologies. There's obviously a lot of compliance. There's a lot of, regulations around what they do. And if there's something out there which can, meet all of those things, and it's new and exciting and can also be a lot more efficient for them, then, they're always the ones to be looking into it. I know a lot of the businesses we work with on the banking sector, they were very much the early adopters of RPA and intelligent automation and other machine learning technologies as well. And, they're doing some really good things and interesting things with it.